So as we know, the abstract class can only be useful when it is implemented. Sorry, when it is extended. That means inherited. Now, what happened to the method? What are the changes that we can make to the methods? Let's take an example of these two methods: show address, show address. And here, what we are basically doing, we are just providing an address, a default address, and the show address here by city, state, and country. Now, if you move to the employee, we are using the same method to override show address. So if we are already using this method in employee class or any of the subclass, why not this person class will give an opportunity to the child classes to implement, to add the definition of this address in their own way. So that's why we can say, okay, the person class has one requirement. Whenever you use it, you need to implement this method. So how we can do it? We can end these type of methods by semicolon, and we need to, because it's an abstract class, so it will automatically says, okay, you need to change the person show address to abstract. So here I will use abstract here. See, now if you are ending the method with the semicolon, okay, and that means that method should be abstract, and the implementation will be available any one of the child class that extend the person. So employee extends the person, so it's the responsibility of the employee to provide the implementation method for this particular method, that is show address. Okay, so here means the show address. Now if I do the same with the second one, once again it will say to add an abstract method. See, so we know this is going to be inherited in employee, so I will just delete everything here. Okay, we know this is going to be inherited with an employee in the employee, so it's the responsibility of the employee to provide the implementation, means to body, a concrete body for these two methods. The point to be remembered here, if the employee is not providing the implementation, then it's the responsibility of the child class of the employee to provide this implementation. This is how things work. Somewhere we need to have the implementation. All right, now how you can provide an implementation, I will do it in this way. I will move here and add the implementation method. So as you can see here at the bottom, these two methods are overridden, means that now the definition is available. So here you can see the @override has been added. This is nothing, this is just an annotation to show programmer, okay, this is not a method from the same class. Actually, we are using a method that is already available in one of the parent class, and that method may be an abstract method, that method may be a concrete method, but we are overriding it. So if you want to remove it works fine, no change. But just for the annotation purpose, just for the checking purpose, if new programmer are going to use your program, okay, writing the code, they may understand, okay, this is not a normal one. That means override means it is overridden from the one of the top class. Now this is how the abstract class work. The point that you need to remember here, if you make a class abstract, the abstract class is a collection of abstract method and non-abstract method. It is a class, but this is the difference. Now here, if any of the class extend the abstract class, it's the responsibility of the abstract class to provide the full implementation of the methods of the abstract methods. This is how things work. So that's why now employee can define their own address. So here if we work in the same way, see here, if I use here, see the show address. Now what happened, the show address of an EMP will be called. We also know that we cannot create an object of person. All right, so let me run it, and you will get the same answer here. Okay, so what happened, we haven't done anything inside the employee. Okay, you can just, it is returning the null, you can just return anything I want to return. Let's say I will return the city here. Okay, so now when I run this one, for the second one, first one will return nothing, but second one definitely going to return the address. Okay, it is here you can just use string str, and then you can just use system.out.println, and let me use str, and then you will run it. You will get the city name, or you can just use your own logic to what you want to show as an output. So this is about abstract class, and now let me talk about in the next chapter we will talk about the interfaces.